It's podcast. It's podcast room.
Podcast.
It's-
Mother's Day podcast.
It's podcast room.
Oh, but since we're starting the podcast, Tuner, my love, I have a gift for you.
Oh God, please no. Please no.
I mean, how do I drop things? Am I not allowed to drop things?
I don't know. What are you trying to drop?
I'm trying to drop you a bunch of gold roses, but it's not letting me.
I don't need gold roses. I'm not gonna be able to pick them up.
I can't drop you gold roses. I brought you 40.
Hey, Cauldron.
Because this is America, and I show my love through monetary gifts.
Capitalism.
Capitalism.
No, it's probably a penis. Was it penis 1 or penis 2? That's a funny cyberpunk joke. Welcome everybody. Jinx didn't install the app, so he's probably gonna be really behind on all the emotes.
It's okay. I just have to, while having conversation with you about topics, also somehow multitask in a way that allows me to pre-select what I'm going to be using as my emotes. Yes, I will do this very well. I will not just sit here doing this exact same emote the entire time.
Yeah, I mean, it's probably better than doing the clapping thing. Apparently, like, the clapping thing
Yeah,
was
because it makes sounds.
Yeah, it was so loud. But I've got the sound pretty much almost off. Maybe I could turn it up just a smidge.
I'll just jamming.
Yeah, I'll turn it up just a little bit, so if you have it really loud, you could actually hear. But otherwise,
He's got the hyperthread, that single brain cell. That is how my brain works.
Hey, Cyber. Hey, Steve. Wait, is Jinx the mommy or am I the mommy?
I thought we established that I was the mother who went to go get cigarettes.
Yes, indeed. So, anyways, welcome everybody to this podcast, where we will be talking about many things today, including Elden Ring and the future of the channel and all sorts of other fun stuff. So if you would like to listen for the next, I don't know,
2-ish hours? 2-ish hours.
Wait, hold up. I screwed up. Wait, I fucked up.
Oh no.
Reset. I had the music still going.
Lol. Everyone act natural. Pretend nothing just happened.
Everyone act like there was no podcast.
Everyone pretend like the podcast didn't just start.
Shit.
Also, timestamp.
God damn it. True. Yeah, we could just pretend like that was the intro music and then throw it up. I mean, it wasn't really it was non-DMCA music, I guess is what I should say.
Good.
So, starting from now,
let's do the time warp again.
Starting from now, there will be no music.
Without telling me you're a millennial.
Starting from now, there will be no music. I apologize. I know a lot of people are like, "Hey, I'm really glad that there's no music, so I can just do whatever I want and listen to you guys in the background." So, again, I apologize. I will try to remember for the next time.
Lol.
Rewind. Okay.
Everyone stop talking in chat long enough for there to be an empty chat thing on the screen so we can pretend we just started.
No, it's fine. It's fine.
Okay.
Okay. So, bello, everyone. Sorry for the absence. We've been busy. I've been working in real life. Jinx has been working in real life. We aren't full-time content creators anymore.
Yep.
So,
but you are here. Now we are here.
Yeah.
Also, when Elden Ring came out, pretty much just lived that for like 36 days in a row.
That is true.
Yep.
I'm still doing a lot of Elden Ring, in fact.
Yeah. I have been putting my time into other things. I did get a bit further in Nier. I finished the 2B route. I started playing some Sunhaven, which is basically Fantasy Stardew that I think is made by a furry.
How very interesting.
I also played some Attack on Titan 2, which is a surprisingly good game despite being an anime game.
Hmm.
Just because like the core mechanics of using your ODM gear to like Spider-Man around and then latching on the Titans and slicing up their, because you can target each of their body parts, so you can target their limbs and their neck, and the raw mechanics of that alone are strong enough to carry the game, despite it being one of your anime games where your OC is part of the gang and is kind of like shoehorned into the plot somehow.
Mm-hmm.
And you build friendship levels with all of the characters, and you get little skills and little cutscenes and dialogue with them, and expand on their character stuff. And then when you beat the story, you can even go back and complete missions where characters die and stop them from dying.
Oh.
So you can continue friendshipping them, and they exist, and it's weird alternate timeline thing.
Huh.
But you know, the core mechanics are really fucking solid. Actually, it's a surprisingly fun game.
Okay.
If anyone's interested, they actually have a pretty good demo where you get to play one pretty large single mission where you can kind of just fuck around with the mechanics. It was surprisingly fun. It did get a little repetitive after a second, especially because the end game is so grindy if you do want to end game. But if you don't want to end game, they also have like a lot of modes. You can do the story mode, you can do the story mode in like Inferno difficulty. You can do more of the actual like later season story contents by playing,
Is this,
through
are we just
character
shilling this
episodes,
game the entire
etc. I don't know. I just somehow started talking about it. You're supposed to rein me in, Tuner.
Yes, this is me getting you back on track, you fucking nerd.
Okay. So let's look at our topic list.
Well, first of all, thank you, Jinx, for the incredibly long side tangent. But
Yes.
thank you for the patrons who have still been here. I know we haven't been around, so thank you for all the patrons who've been keeping us down, holding it down. Thank you very much. Yeah, hey, thank you, Jinx. Say thank you.
Thank you. I was trying to do a sniff.
Why are you trying to sniff them?
I'm sniffing as a thank you. Just inhaling the patrons and the wonderful scent.
Huh. Okay. So tell us about work, Jinx, because you've been busy.
Yeah, I mean, work is work, but I've also been working on my data analytics certificates and stuff. Progress on that has been a little bit rocky, as I'm also trying to adjust my sleep schedule and get other things done as well.
Mm-hmm.
As well as just my work schedule makes it weird and somewhat difficult to like actually have time in the day to do other things. Since I oftentimes get back from work at like 11 to 1 o'clock, but then also I want to unwind a little bit after work, so I end up watching some anime or playing some games or something a bit, and I get to bed pretty late. And then when I wake up, I don't really have that much time to actually do stuff. And I have a spouse who I like spending time with and want to spend time with, so makes time scheduling a little bit challenging.
Right.
But working on stuff.
Good.
But life has been life.
Been good.
I
though.
have got weirdly into personal. My ADHD hyperfixation really focused on personal finance stuff for like 3 months. So now our budget is super crisp and clean, and I'm playing the credit game, and our credit's just basically going to be steadily rising for the next few years and whatnot.
Pog.
And I got like optimized automatic savings plans put into place, and also got some long-term investment accounts started up, and 401k, a bunch of personal finance stuff I got weirdly into for a few months because ADHD hyperfixation does that.
Oh, good.
After Elden Ring, I needed a new hyperfixation, so apparently it was gonna be personal finances.
Well, I mean, if you're gonna have a hyperfixation, it might as well be something that helps you.
A very useful life skill every adult unfortunately needs to learn in America.
Yeah. Yeah. My work's been okay. I went back to work at logistics, entry level, so nothing fancy, but getting buff. Jinx has been liking the progress in my shoulder muscles.
Yes.
Still streaming, I guess. No, not really anything super exciting. I'm not going to college or getting certifications or, you know.
I mean, work stuff happening.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I guess for you, there's less to update on podcast-wise because you've still been consistently streaming this entire time since the last podcast.
Yeah, if you wanted to know, why were you here to find out?
Exactly.
But
it is nice to be doing this podcast again because it has been a second. It's
Yeah.
nice to see people. I mean, I've occasionally like popped into your streams and like hung out on voice chat for like a few minutes or something, but
you're usually doing
nice to be
another
back.
game yourself, so I'm like, okay, this is annoying because you're
yep.
just playing a different game and talking about it while I'm trying to play my game, and
Yep.
I can't coordinate conversation with you.
Yep. If we were playing the same game, it'd be different, but
Yeah.
hanging out in voice chat, just chatting when we're not doing like a podcast with topics or something while you're playing another game, just kind of like, my brain needs stimulation. Where's my dopamine? Oh, here's a video game I can play while talking with you. There's dopamine. Hello.
Yeah. But no, I had a bit of a run-in with a bad boss already, which
Unfortunately.
sucks. Yeah, he like yelled at me on the dock. People don't leave bad jobs, they leave bad bosses.
Yep.
Yeah.
Bad managers, bad bosses.
Yeah. And some people, well, sometimes they leave because of money. It's like, well, yeah, but like if they're not paying you enough, then that's also bad management somewhere up the line. Whoever's in charge of finances decided that they can't pay that person enough money.
Enough money to keep them.
Yep.
I mean, sometimes you leave because of industry or career transitions, which is a bit different.
Yeah.
But if you're staying in the same industry, it's generally because bad boss, and pay is a part of that, because if they valued you enough to keep you, they would be able to at least try to match or something.
Mm-hmm. Oh, well.
Although I guess that's kind of an oversimplification of a very complex thing, but still.
Look, if you can make a generic statement, put it on a headline.
Sorry, I forgot. We're content creators. This is the
creators.
internet. We only make generic, overarching statements that are fact, not opinion. And then
here's a
later
fact.
make apology videos for more ad revenue.
Here's a fact. Elden Ring is a bad game.
Fuck you.
Fuck you.
Fuck you. Elden Ring is good game. No, bad game. I apologize. I called Elden Ring good game when it was bad game.
Let's
How to
talk
be a
about Elden
content
Ring,
creator
because I'm sure
101.
that's the most interesting thing anybody would want to hear about.
Yeah. Also because we haven't really actually much gotten to talk about it.
Yeah.
I mean, you've been playing it consistently. I did my first, like, what was it, 106-hour playthrough, I think, was what I ended up logging or something. I did my first 106-hour playthrough. It was about a 90% completion run. I missed a few of the small dungeons, but that was about it. I did quite a bit of stuff post-game as well, since you can still do a lot of the side quests and stuff post-game.
Yeah.
There were just, like, 2 major side NPC quest lines I missed. I missed like the brother, whatever his name is, the faith guy, the faith teacher's side quest, and I missed the Castlevania guy's side quest.
Oh, the whip dude.
Yeah, the whip guy. Yeah, missed the Castlevania side quest, but I got everyone else's side quests through. Although I haven't really played since the first month of the game, so I know there's updates adding more NPC stuff.
Yeah.
So at this point, I'm kind of waiting for like a relatively good chunk of like new NPC questline stuff, since I know when I start playing, like the Patches questline hadn't finished yet. So I was at the end of the Patches questline at the time.
I mean, I'm 100% sure that Elden Ring is gonna get DLC, because every Souls game gets DLC. And
and this is their most
as we
successful
all
one.
know, as good as any of the Souls games have ever been, the DLCs are always better. So
Yep, pretty much.
and they always have a harder boss. So have fun with Malenia, because she's gonna look like a cakewalk to whatever waifu boss they put in the next one.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, they always add more. They always add more challenging bosses in the DLC, and just in general cooler bosses. Honestly,
Hmm.
one of my favorite fights still in all of the Soulsborne series is the Artorias fight. But that's also because I'm kind of an Artorias simp.
Yeah. The
I'm really sad they didn't include his armor in this one because they did include his armor in Dark Souls 3, and if there was, and you could kind of cosplay him with some mixtures in Dark Souls 2.
Blythe's
Uh,
is pretty close.
eh, not really.
I don't know. It gives me that vibe of like the.
So one of the, I mean, yeah, it's somewhat close, but like one of the big defining features too of the Artorias armor is it actually makes your arms skinnier.
Well, but here's the thing though: is Elden Ring isn't connected in any way to the Dark Souls franchise,
I
despite the
know.
fact that they made it. That's it.
I know.
But-
Sadly.
But
Yeah, now that I think about it, did they even have any like cameo armors in Elden Ring?
besides
I can't really remember
patches,
any. Well, yeah, besides but Patches is transcendental. Patches is eternal. Patches is omnipresent. He exists in every timeline, even the Bloodborne timeline and universe.
mm-hmm.
I don't think he's in Sekiro though. But Sekiro's kind of devoid even from the weirdly hamstrung together concept of the souls of like the Soulsborne universe somehow being contiguous.
Mm-hmm.
The Demon Souls have DLC? Actually, no, it didn't.
Yeah,
But Demon Souls also kind of came out before the concept of DLC was really a thing.
yeah, I think Demon Souls came out like 2007, and that was like when Oblivion came out and they did horse armor. Like,
Yeah,
and that
that was
was
like the early DLCs before we even really figured out how to do DLCs.
I mean, the only thing I could say about DLC is that we were selling armor packs and like Modern Warfare and stuff at that time.
Yeah, yeah,
Or not armor, map. God, why did I say armor?
yeah. Map packs were a thing back in the day. That was pretty much the closest thing in FPSs.
But okay, so Elden Ring is good game, but all good game have bad thing.
Have bad thing.
Have bad thing.
I am Elden Ring simp. How dare you say there is bad thing in good thing?
Okay, but
It must be all good.
no,
Only good, no bad.
but there is bad. What
Red
would
is
you call?
Twitter.
What would you call
Mash
bad?
keyboard.
What would you call bad?
So like legitimately, what are like bad things about Elden Ring? I guess.
Yes.
Or like legitimately, what do I
Yes.
think are problems with Elden Ring?
You because I have problems. I want to hear you say your problems first.
So first off, the biggest issue I have with Elden Ring, other than how divisive comparative to the other, because like having been in like the Souls community pretty consistently since like Dark Souls 1. Having been in the like other than the community issues, because
Well, the bigger the
this is-
community, the worse it's gonna get. It's like
it's
like
partly,
Monster Hunter World.
Yeah, it's partly the bigger the community, but it's also I think compounded by the issues of the fact that they added in so many ways to adjust soft difficulty in the, like soft difficulty adjustments in the game. Because like I mean, for fuck's sake, the whole like using summons, not using summons bullshit online is like the biggest divide and bullshit we've ever seen in the Souls community. Because weirdly enough, the Souls community has historically been incredibly helpful, but also that kind of like vitriolic, kind of slightly toxic but jokingly toxic, helpful kind of community.
Right.
Where like the whole concept of Git Good is not necessarily to insult someone or like to be like you're shit. It's like it's more so we were all shit and then we got better, so get better. If that makes sense. Like I'm not saying it was a healthy community, but it was more like a toxic camaraderie sort of thing. And also a really big thing too was like even if you use the summons in previous games, they didn't help that much. With the exception of some very rare instances, they didn't really help that much. So like you got that whole thing that Miyazaki has been interviewed to say that like why they don't add difficulty settings is because everyone gets to have that same like community experience of beating the thing. Like it's kind of like in the Monster Hunter how you have the community experience of like beating a Latrion or Fatalis, right? Like, you did it. It doesn't matter if you had a fucking healing hunting horn in the corner the entire time while you were doing that. The point is you did it, and everyone got to share in that and enjoy that as a community with each other.
Right.
And the thing I think in Elden Ring that makes it so divisive is because they have the soft difficulty mechanics of things like pre-nerf mimic tier and summons and like ridiculously overpowered like bleed builds and stuff like that. That there is this division on those experiences of people being like, well, you didn't get the same experience as I did, or you didn't get the same success I did because you use summons, because you use the katana bleed build or whatever. Which I guess kind of goes more into like my first actual issue with the game, which is just that like the intensely strong overtuning of katanas
Right.
and bleed builds in general. Like even after the nerfs with Moonveil, and I know Moonveil isn't really your playstyle from you fucking around with it, but in terms of just like raw statistic distribution, Moonveil's still insane. Like just in terms of like
Unsheath is really good, and Moonveil is just unsheathed with range.
but better, and then also it's got a triple B scaling, if I remember correctly, or something along those lines. So like it scales very well while also having good base stats on its split damage. So like it's just like a very, and then also like innate bleed on top of that. Like it's weird because previously like bleed builds have always been a thing, and Dark Souls 3 pre-nerf launch Dark Souls 3 bleed it was actually stronger than the current bleed, just because of like how much you could amp it and really stack it up. But I think the thing that's just been the weirdest to me is that katanas don't really seem to have a proper numerical balancing point for the fact that they have bleed.
Right.
Like in Dark Souls 3 bleed builds were overpowered pre-nerf, but that's because you had to go all in on it. And in this one, you get like in Elden Ring, your katana builds not only have incredibly competitive DPS, that's aside from bleed existing.
Yeah.
And then they get bleed on top of that.
Yeah.
And the weight is very low. Like they are a relatively low weight class. So
yeah, unless you use the
can invest a lot of
Nagakiba.
armor. Well, yeah, excuse that. Even Nagakiba is not, considering its range, it has more range than most claymores, which are heavier than it.
Yeah.
And I mean claymores, not like colossals, ultra great sword sort of thing. Like just claymores. Like it has significantly better range, and I don't know if I haven't frame counted it, but I'm pretty sure faster attack speeds and better stamina consumption. But I haven't actually tested that specifically. But point is like it's just weird that they're like numerically so advantageous. Like it makes sense in like a weeb game, I guess. Like they buffed the shit out of Longsword in Monster Hunter Rise, but like it's a weeb game, right? Like it makes some sense that they would like make the decision to make the weeb sword so strong in Monster Hunter Rise, just because thematically it makes sense for the target audience. It's just really weird to me that like Katana's dex builds have always been pretty decently balanced historically. Like strength's always been worse, but they were still pretty balanced. And then like the difference now between the two is fucking insane.
Right.
Like the gap has just gotten so big. Like I don't really care that magic builds like are quote unquote easier. I would argue they're not easier. They just change you to playing an easier playstyle or less punishing playstyle, which is different.
Usually you're
like,
a lot farther away. You're not having
you're
to
kiting
sit
versus
into...
dodging. Yeah. Like it converts your like iframe dodging playstyle or your shield like stamina management playstyle to a kiting and spacing playstyle, which is inherently less punishing. I wouldn't necessarily say it's
easier to understand to the average person.
Yeah.
You know, I don't need to worry about dodging through the attack. I just need to worry about not being near the attack. And
you only have to learn like certain iframes on really strong gap closing combos or something, but you generally just can roll away from things.
Right.
Versus like having to learn how to roll through all of their attacks or stamina manage appropriately with a great shield build or something. But like it's just weird to me. It's weird to me like how overtuned katanas are, because they'd be perfectly fine if they didn't have innate bleed. The problem is they have innate bleed on top of all their other advantages. And it kind of makes like
I was using a fun weapon. It was the Rot Rapier. And I was using it dual-handed with the Frost Rapier. And then I added poison to the Rot one because it has an Ash of War that's swappable.
Yeah.
and I set it to seppuku with poison. So I could frost, rot, poison, and bleed all at the same time.
God, okay. Fun. So rainbow status build.
Yeah.
That sounds like quite a bit of fun, actually. One of my big things about like going back to Elden Ring, because like I want to like do some multiplayer with you and stuff when you get like the PC thing kind of probably set up and like actually functioning. But
hmm
like my big thing with Elden Ring is like I don't really know what I want to like go through, like what I want to build for my next build. Because
Well,
like going back to like the whole like magic thing, like magic's always been the people have always called it the quote unquote easy mode in Souls games.
yeah,
Just because
pyromancies
like
were supposed to be easy mode for Dark Souls 1, right?
yeah, and that but pyromancies being like easy was more of a statistical thing than anything else. It was just numerically overtuned
Mm.
because especially for PvP stuff, but also just in general because you scaled pyromancy damage by upgrading your glove. It wasn't stat dependent.
Mm.
So that means, I mean, you had to upgrade your glove with a lot of souls and everything, but it meant that you could just straight build tank and not have to worry about it, or about any numerical stats, and just fucking chuck fireballs and melee range combustions at things. Not to mention, you also had the range advantage of chucking fireballs at shit. So, like, it was just numerically very strong because you didn't really have to worry about much. About stats. You just focused on defense. And since your weapon is so light, because a pyromancy glove weighs like I think 1.0 or something, if I remember correctly, 1.5 maybe. Like it was numerically just very strong. But like like I guess like I don't really care about Arcane changing that because that's always been a thing and that's perfectly okay. I hesitate to always call it the easier way because I've done Arcane playthroughs in previous games and it's actually harder for me because I'm used to the iframe close range playstyle, so kiting is fucking weird for me.
Right.
And also kind of boring, which makes me focus less in fights and fuck up and get a fuck up harder when I do fuck up. But yeah, I think the thing that probably bothers me the most about the katana bleed thing is, well, it creates that divisive issue I talked about before,
Right.
where people are like, well, I beat the hard mode of this boss because I didn't use Moon Veil or Rivers of Blood or whatever, right?
Mhm.
Or I didn't use that X numerically overpowered playstyle because there weren't things were better balanced in the previous games where like yeah dex was better than strength but it wasn't that much easier. Like dex was mostly better than strength because you had less vitality requirement because your weapons weighed less.
Mm-hmm.
And Great Scythe in Dark Souls 1 had numerically better DPS than any other weapon, but not by a huge margin. But like outside of the divisive issue, it also just kind of makes like dex builds akin to katana builds, which wasn't a thing previously. Like, yeah, the majority of dex builds were katana builds previously, but like, it wasn't so dominated. Now it's like, with katana, if you're doing a dex build, katanas are so overpowered. Why are you using a different dex weapon?
Right.
Like it just seems like, at least from what I've observed, it just seems like dex build just means katana build now. Even if
Yeah,
you're not
no.
going like an arcane like Rivers of Blood build, like dex build just means katana build right now.
No,
And
I was
like,
trying like I said, I was trying those rapiers because I was like, oh man, this seems like it'd be fun. And I'm just like,
yeah.
yeah, this is really cool. I can apply all these status effects and all, you go in, it's like, okay, it's doing a bit of
I could
damage,
literally
whatever.
just switch to like a Moon Veil or Rivers of Blood and be doing so much better.
Right, exactly. Yeah. And for those of you who don't know, Jinx and I both did our first runs with strength. He did double Colossus, muscle mage. I
Muscle
did
Mage.
pure strength. That was it. I did
I was doing by like final complete build, I was doing anywhere, depending on the enemy's defenses for bosses, anywhere from 16 to 1800 damage per jump attack. I was just going for biggest possible number, a double ultra great, like power stance ultra great sword jump attack playstyle. And they just did giant chunks in the very few openings I got against bosses.
Yeah, most people here probably know what I did because I'm streaming it. But for YouTube folks, I did. I started with broadsword and shield, and then I went into great hammer, and then eventually like colossal weapons. I did the giant crusher and the thumbprint shield. just pure. By the end of it, my weight requirement was 123.7.
Yeah.
I think was my weight. I was like absolutely the heaviest you could possibly be.
Gonna play Fat Boy build.
Yeah, and then I had a medium roll.
And I was running around in light armor because my weapons weighed too fucking much. And I needed to invest in ints, so I couldn't have that much endurance.
Yeah, I had like 73 endurance.
Yeah, I also stopped at, what was it? Soul level, I think was it 120 or 140? I think it was 120. I think I stopped at soul level 120. It's whatever like was the community was deciding was the like PvP like ideal soul rune level, sorry.
Yeah.
Rune level. So like like when I hit like basically like right after I beat Millennia, my build was complete, and I still had to do like the rest of the end game because I hit Millennia like went to Millennia as soon as I possibly could.
Mm-hmm.
The only other, by the way, we're talking Elden Ring, so probably spoilers about some stuff, but the only other great runes I had gotten were Radons and Morgats. Like those are the only other two ones I got, and then after I beat Millennia, like 5 levels later, I hit like my, was it? It's a contention between 150. I think I hit 150. I think it was 150. I don't remember. It's been I haven't played Elden Ring since I did my first playthrough, but either way, it was around that range. I stopped at that point, so at that point I was just funneling all of my souls I got into buying like not Titanite shards, fucking smithing stones.
Right.
So I have like enough smithing stones to like make another like 25 weapons plus 9 / plus 24 at this point.
But then so I started a second playthrough because I had said that bleed builds were pretty much easy mode for the game, and I wanted to see if I was correct. So I actually started a new character, not new game, a new character to try to prog through with bleed. I started bandit, use Reduvia until I could get an Uchi Katana, and honestly, if you start samurai and get the second Uchi Katana, it's probably even better than that. But then started just going through and using Rivers of Blood, seppuku, all as much bleed as I could, and yeah, kind of goes into our second one. And I know we're late, but we do have some advice if you guys are still struggling with Elden Ring or doing a second playthrough and just want to try some random stuff.
Yeah, just stuff of like.
I'm gonna say right off the bat, bleed builds make the game easy.
Yeah.
If you just want to do
Just
stuff,
run a katana.
yeah, if
You
you
can
want to
get
do
an
like a
Uchi katana
story
in the
mode
first
playthrough
area.
kind of thing where you want to just do quests and not worry about it, start with bleed. Start with samurai if you want to, start a new character.
Or start with sorcery, depending on whether you're like, if you're not comfortable with like the close range melee, learning to iframe through stuff playstyle, then play arcane. But oh, not arcane. Sorry, play sorcery intelligence is what I meant. Sorcery.
Well, you can do both if you want. You can go Moonveil and have the int to do spells.
True, but then you also have to invest a lot more into mind, and then at that point, why aren't you just going full into an arcane build? Because they're not very supplementary. Like I was kind of disappointed that there's a kind of a lack of supplementary sorceries in this game.
Right.
Like there isn't much reason to, especially because Moonveil is so good for the Dex int build that you don't even have a reason to run like Magic Armament or Scholar's Armament. I think it's called in Elden Ring. Like, you don't even have a reason to run that anymore. And then, like, yeah, I mean, like, you can definitely do both. It's just kind of I guess why? It might be nice to just have, like, something ranged to, like, poke with them with when you're not in close range or, like, to finish them off. But, I don't know. You can definitely do both, though. But, unlike Faith builds, it just kind of seems like sorcery builds are just better when they're like not hybrid, I guess.
Right. You literally can't even beat the game if you're pure faith.
Oh yeah.
You cannot beat the last boss if you are only using faith magic.
Well, yeah, but faith also doesn't really have like the offensive capacity. Generally with faith you do play a hybrid because the offensive capacity of faith is not the same as sorceries in like every game.
Yeah. But it's
faith
just
is not
it's just something to point out. And
That's
also,
fair, yeah.
Another piece of advice, just try random crap. The game gives you so many respecs. It's ridiculous. I think you can even farm them. You know,
I don't think there's a farmable drop for them.
I
Well,
just noticed that some of
yeah,
the enemies in was it no knock on the
yeah.
Undercity
They drop
drop
it. They
them,
only
but
drop it the first time.
yeah, I
They
didn't
only
know if
drop it
they
the
drop
first
them
time.
multiple
I
times.
tested if they were farmable, and the
Okay.
ones I found, they only dropped it first time you kill them.
Either way, I'm pretty sure you can get like 30 or 40.
I think it's around below 30, but it's like 25. Yeah, like JDX is saying it's like around 25 plus. I remember looking it up exactly, and it's like it's in the high 20s.
Yeah.
If I
So
remember
either
correctly.
way,
But
try
yeah, a
some
lot of
random
respect.
crap just if you want to mix it up. Um, but
But that, but
early game
yeah,
vigor king,
yeah. In terms
you
of stat distribution, it's always been the meta for like if you're not like super pro gamer, I want to be like I can do glass cannon because I'm willing to just learn how to roll through things and get one or two shot by stuff.
yep.
Like it's always been the meta is to level vigor early.
Yeah, and up to 40 if you're using like a great rune, or like a source seal, taking into account to that. 40 is when it goes from 50 plus to like 25, so 40 is probably when you can just stop.
Yeah.
Um
On the note of soul seal and stuff, don't use it unless you're running decent armor because hitting negative resistances is really bad
mhm.
for damage for like in terms of the damage calculations. Like it's not a big deal if you're running heavy armor and you can still stay positive, but when you start hitting negative resistances is when stuff really fucking chunks you
Yeah.
and you start really breaking thresholds for like taking one or more less hits to die. But yeah, soul seal is useful though because extra stats are nice.
Yeah. Next, focus on like endurance and mind. Mind's probably more important for like Arts of War, but I still think endurance just because I do roll a lot, so I like having the extra rolls in my pocket. Plus, that lets you use heavier armor and stuff, so
Yeah.
the equip load's
Well,
nice.
I think with mind at the bare minimum you should be getting enough mind to be able to run the summon you like to run. Like
Right.
whatever summon that ends up being. Past that, shrug. I mean, like Art of Wars are nice, especially on some of the meta weapons and especially on like katana builds.
Right.
But like I will say, on my like colossal strength build, the only Art of War I ever ran was a fucking heavy infusion with what's it called? The fucking faith one that gives me more AR because I didn't really have any Arts of War worth running.
Yeah.
Colossal weapons kind of get shit out of war options.
Well, that's not necessarily true anymore.
Uh,
Lion's Roar is freaking hilarious now.
oh,
It comes out
is that the one where you
so
do
fast, and it
is
got a
that the
damage buff.
Artorias somersault?
Yeah.
Oh, they made it faster? Good, because that shit was way too slow.
Yeah, I think I was testing it on some clean rot nights, and I did 2,000 damage.
Lion's Claw, yeah, Lion's Claw.
Yeah, Lion's Claw.
Really? Okay. I mean, like, I was always doing around, like, 15, 16... I was always doing about as much as my jump attacks, but since I was running a power stance build, it wasn't that useful. But yeah, that move's also good because it has such high, like, stagger. It even, like, will flatten some enemies.
Mm-hmm.
And then on top of that, like, it has a huge amount of critical build. And then also has hyper armor. So, yeah. I'm glad that they buffed it. I haven't played since the colossal buffs, by the way, since like I said, I played basically on like patch 1 point fucking like 1 or 01 or something. Because I beat the game and haven't touched it really since.
Yeah.
So I know that colossal weapons got a lot of buffs since then, and yeah.
Yeah, I've almost actually thought about doing another playthrough of a colossal weapon just to
Lol.
see if it's because it truly was really freaking hard with just pure strength. You had like
Yep.
magic colossal weapons because you were trying to buff them as much as you could. I just went pure strength, and it was a little frustrating sometimes. But
Yeah, I never.
no, I will
the only
say
one that
I recommend
frustrated me
getting more
was-
mind, at least
No.
enough. There's a couple of guides out there. You can just Google like how much mana you're gaining per level of flask. It bothers me if I have less mana than my potions can heal or like regenerate, because then it's just wasted.
Isn't that is it SP in this game as well? I fucking forgot because I never
It's
fucking
FP.
bother with my. It's FPS, yeah, for focus
For
points, I
freedom
think?
points. Fuck
Freedom
yeah,
points.
America.
Enough blue resource, blue bar.
Yeah.
Enough blue bar.
Yeah. Um. So, and
I
then
literally
mostly
had
just
like
like
12 mines, so I had enough to do my full buff rotation, and then that's it.
and mostly just my one of my bits is like explore. No one says you have to be where you're at. The first time I fought the tree sentinel, I didn't even know the tree sentinel was literally the first thing you looked at. I didn't know that because as soon as I started playing Elden Ring, the first thing I did was like, oh, what the fuck's over here on this location? And I didn't even know that you and like
You didn't go north immediately,
yeah,
basically. Yeah.
and then I didn't even realize if you play the game in like the direction that the game is supposed to be played, you go immediately to Tree Sentinel, and then you go immediately into Margit's fight.
Yep.
I'm like, holy crap! I didn't know that that's how that's supposed to be.
Yeah, I
Just go explore.
on stream I fought Margit, and it took me like 25 it took me like 25 or 30 deaths or something without I used like the wolf summon once. I was like, this is really cheap, and then died intentionally because it just didn't feel good to me. Again, not to like say anyone shouldn't use summons or whatnot, it's just my personal playstyle. I don't like it because I get less dopamine when I win. But yeah, and like I was using like a +1 and a +3 like Lord Swan straight sword or something. And I was like, I should not be fighting this guy at level 19.
Yeah.
Like, I very clearly should not be fighting this guy with 3 fucking flasks and level 19. This is like genuinely much more difficult than like a lot of the some of the final bosses in previous games. Definitely harder than Dark Souls 2's final boss.
Right. And like another example, I was halfway through playthrough 2 before I unlocked crafting. So, just go have fun, explore. You could literally not fight any bosses, probably get like a +13 or 14 weapon and not fight any bosses.
Video has a guide to get a +14 weapon and like 7 or 8 flasks and a bunch of heavy armor and a bunch of and a bunch of rune items 1 hour into the game. If you just follow his exact guide, like you don't have to fight any bosses to get to that point because they give you a horse. You can just run and pick up shit and leave.
Yeah.
Like, and that's like I think a really interesting point about Elden Ring, and like a thing to keep in mind. Like you said, the point is to explore. Like you might as well fucking do it because like
it's
that's
so different
I think,
than how it used to be. I mean,
yeah. There was always like a hard skill cap with previous games that if you hit a boss that you couldn't beat, unless you were willing to just grind up souls to try to get some numerical advantage, you couldn't really do anything about it.
Mm-hmm.
Like you just had to beat the boss. And like now you can just go fuck off to a different area, maybe find a new weapon you like better, maybe go get more flasks, go get more smithing stones so you can upgrade your weapon more. Like that wasn't an option in previous games, especially in the early areas. If you got stuck on a boss, you were just kind of fucked.
Mm-hmm.
Which I think is like, yeah, and like it's important to remember that's intentional, and like that's part of the big reason why Elden Ring is the most successful FromSoft game, because it's so accessible. Like, all of the hardcore fans are playing, but sorry, what?
So somebody made a joke. Go ahead. You go finish your thought.
Yeah, it's like just the fact that they like this is the most successful game, and it's been like, and it's had the most players because it's so friendly to non Souls veterans or Dark Souls players, like gamers who are like a good fit for Dark Souls games or for Soulsborne games, because like those are definitely the kind of game that like they want you to have that like growth mindset and like the tenacity to push through a boss that is basically you slamming your head into a brick wall trying to find the weak bricks in the wall over time. Like if you aren't that kind of gamer, you still can enjoy and probably a large majority of the player base are like that, where they haven't enjoyed or don't want to play any of the previous Soulsborne games, but they love Elden Ring because you can explore, you can go find new shit, you can go get a fuckload of healing flasks early on in the game before you ever have to fight anything like particularly difficult or clear bosses that you have to. And like that's a very clearly intentional design of it. So like go make use of that. If you're struggling on the boss, go fuck off somewhere else. Go find some more smithing stones, upgrade your weapon. Speaking of which, for those of you who don't know how the math in the game works, upgrading a weapon is incredibly more important than leveling up your damage stats.
Mm-hmm.
Like, even for like S scaling weapons, and that's for S scaling weapons, most weapons are like C to B even when maxed out, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like for S scaling weapons, one upgrade, like going from like a +0 to a +1 is about equivalent to like, I think it's like 5 to 9. 5 to 9 levels in that, like a strength scaling S is like 5 to 9 strength points, something around that. Point is, it's a fuckload.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it is much more important to upgrade weapons and upgrade your damage stats. It's also part of why leveling vitality is more important if you're struggling, because it gives you more health and more room to fuck up. Because the damage gains you get from leveling up your damage stats aren't very high, especially on low level weapons, because scaling increases as the weapon level increases. So, like, if you're struggling and you want more damage, don't worry about leveling up your strength or dex. Get enough to run the weapon you want, and then focus on finding smithing stones and building your runes on leveling up your weapon. It's much more important to have a leveled up weapon than it is to have more strength or dex. If you want, yeah.
So, a couple things. Let me drop that joke real quick. Somebody had said that like previous Dark Souls games had given you claustrophobia because it's always tight dungeons, tight corridors. The
Yep.
older games you're going down further and further and further into dungeons, and
Yep.
you can't say anything. Elden Ring has flipped that on its head, where it's giving you like agoraphobia. Whereas, like, at any point you could be walking and all of a sudden a freaking dragon swoops down on you, or like all of a sudden you're walking through a graveyard and a giant skeleton raises its arms and swipes you off your horse, and it could come from any direction, anywhere, at any time.
But that's also part of the fun of exploration.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know this. I didn't know going through this area at night would cause this giant death bird to fucking swoop down on my ass and peck me to death while spewing death status at me.
Right. But yes, final point on really advice I would say is just don't let anybody tell you how to play.
Yep.
It's your game. The Final Fantasy 14 has a really nice motto for this kind of stuff, is like, you're not paying my sub. I'm going to play how I want to play. Like, no, but you paid for your game. Don't let anybody tell you how to play. If you want to use summons, if you want to use Rivers of Blood, if you want to use Bloodhound Step, if you want to use all that shit, go for it. I mean, it's your game, dude. So
not everyone has to play like me and be a monkey who is willing to fight Melania. God, how many fucking times did it take me to kill Melania? I forget. But like, not everyone is like me who wants to specifically play a specific playstyle that is numerically and playstyle wise one of the hardest ways to fight things, and refuse to use summons the entire time, and refuse to use Bloodhound Step or pretty much anything other than my build that would make my life easier, because I want the biggest possible dopamine rush when I beat a boss.
right.
I like doing that because I'm a fucking masochist.
Right.
I don't think anyone else should do that unless they're a fucking masochist.
Right. And then so somebody had mentioned is
149 death Melania clear. That's it.
the last few
149
bosses
death.
kind of force you to go through the game without being able to mess around with the open world. I actually think that Elden Ring has the same problem that Breath of the Wild does, where it's very good. It's a great open world. You can do anything in any order you want. You can rush to the end, or you can explore around and dick around for days. And then, just like Breath of the Wild, it kind of falls apart at the end in its way of storytelling, and it kind of, how do I want to say this? When it's just the boss rush, it kind of gets a little lame.
Yeah, because it's such a dynamic change.
Yeah.
From what you've been doing up until then, because like that's that's part of the problem though, is that like you can only control pacing so much in an open world game.
Yeah,
That's part of what has made like the previous like Miyazaki work so good, is that because it's a lot more strict in terms of progression, unless you do specific things to kind of like skip through to different like areas, like using your master key in Dark Souls 1 and stuff, like the pacing is much better controlled because it's that more linear experience, and you can't really do that in an open world game.
Right. Yeah, no, and it's like what you're talking about. It's
Eventually, you have to get on the rails, and getting on the rails is going to be a jolt.
right. You can unravel. It's like a string. You can unravel the middle as much as you want, but eventually it has to come to the center. Like,
Yeah.
and if you don't, then you have unraveled ends. You know, the story has to close somewhere, and it just it's such a shift away from the open world fun that you're like, oh, okay, well, here we
Yep.
go. I
Let's finish
also
off the game now.
just frankly, I don't like the last boss.
Oh,
I
yeah,
think
yeah,
I think it should have
the last
ended
boss
on
is shit.
Horaloo.
Yeah, he was very much more final boss material. Like,
I mean, he was so fucking cool. He literally
such a fun
Macho
fight.
Man Randy Savaged your ass.
yeah, it was fucking great. I loved the fight and his moveset. Him and Melania are the two fights I wish I could have replayed immediately after fighting them.
Yeah.
Like, they're the two that I wish I could replay. That makes me wish I could go back and fight bosses again. It made me want to be in Monster Hunter and just go fight that cool thing again.
Yeah.
Like, God, his fight was so cool, and I finally beat him. I was like, oh, that was great. I want to do it again.
Yeah.
I want him to fucking jump at me with both arms bare clawed and slam me into the goddamn ground and call me a pussy again. Like, it was so nice.
Okay, so Jinx is an M.
We just went over this.
Jinx is an M.
I did 149 Death Melania clear because I refused to use anything that would make my fight easier. I just wanted to learn the fight.
But yeah. No, I guess that's my only complaint is just the ending is kind of nah, and the horse kind of sucks. I don't like the horse. Jinx likes the horse. I don't like the horse.
It's less I don't like the horse.
You don't dislike the horse?
I don't dislike the horse. Like, I don't dislike the horse because, like, the horse movement stuff, I honestly kind of prefer it because in terms of horses in other games, like, I played like at least like 10 different games that have like horse mechanics. And like I think the two like far ends of horse mechanics are like Red Dead Redemption 2 and The Witcher 3.
Mm-hmm.
Like in Red Dead Redemption 2, it's even more extreme than the movement system they have in all the movement style they have in Elden Ring, where like
in Red Dead Redemption 2, your horse's balls shrink.
Yes, but also like the movement is very like I guess Red Dead Redemption 2 in general, the movement's like very realistic. Like you turn like a person turns and rather slowly, and like the horse also turns like that and moves like that, and so it's kind of like they're trying to make it as realistic as possible in terms
You really
of like
feel
how you feel the horse moving
dysentery.
around. Yes, and the dysentery. And then Witcher's horse was literally the moment you pressed S instead of W, your horse immediately 180s, right? Like it was like pure reactive, but didn't feel realistic or immersive. And Elden Ring's definitely leading more towards the Red Dead Redemption 2, where maneuvering your horse, especially if you're trying to platform, it can be a pain in the ass because of the fact that it like doesn't turn on a dime. But I'm glad they made the choice to do that because it didn't break my immersion in the game. Like in The Witcher 3, the
horse, Jinx. Let it turn on a dime.
Yeah, but like it being a magical horse is still consistent with like the immersion because I mean ultimately like you can't make the argument that it's a magical horse so it can turn on a dime and its instant turning isn't going to break immersion or feel out of place just because it's a magical horse. Like even like we're playing a fantasy video game. There is a certain suspension of disbelief you have to make, but when things are consistent in the world and like everyone moves kind of realistic, like they have this way of moving. If you have something like that, it does break immersion. And I think part of what is so strong about Miyazaki's games is the fact that they're so well crafted to give you that immersion. Like we've talked about in the past with other like Dark Souls games, like Miyazaki is brilliant at using all the tools that a video game has to make you feel like you're in the experience or experience the like experience of your character. And that is part of it, is having those things kind of have that consistency where it feels immersive and you don't get like when things kind of feel buggy, that is one thing that can like cut you out of an immersive experience.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know. I just when
I'm not
when
saying
you
it's perfect,
when
like,
you
but
have a because I remember seeing screenshots or not screenshots, early videos of Elden Ring, and the second I saw that character move, I was like, "Yep, this is Dark Souls." It
yep,
moves like a Dark Souls character.
yeah,
And now when you have the horse, it doesn't move like a Dark Souls character anymore, and all that muscle memory and all of that expectation is gone.
yeah, that's
And
fair.
in a game that requires consistency in Elden like a Dark Souls game, that sudden lack of control and that sudden lack of consistency between the two different types of movement can be very jarring.
Yeah, but also it's jarring, but also horses don't move like humans. So I guess to
Yeah.
me, it still feels consistent. Like it's similar in Red Dead Redemption 2. Arthur moves like way more slowly in terms of turning and whatnot than like characters in other games, even in Dark Souls games, where they
But
don't turn
what
on
does it
like a
matter?
sharp
You're
dime.
not
But
hitting somebody with a sword in
oh yeah, no, I get you.
you're
I'm just saying
shooting and
like,
you're shooting in bullet time.
and like I said in in Red Dead Redemption 2, even then the horse still it still moved more slowly, I guess. So it felt consistent. It felt like I was riding a horse, not riding a horse that's a horse-shaped human, I guess. And I guess it feels the same in Elden Ring. Like, yeah, I also got frustrated with the horse movements. I got frustrated with like the horse platforming moments. I wouldn't say I got frustrated with like missing swings on stuff, but I definitely wasn't good at the horseback combat. But to me, it still felt like, okay, I'm on a horse versus I'm on my feet, like where I'm actually nimble and mobile. And
Right.
I guess I kind of like that. I kind of like that I like that disparity because it makes it feel more like I'm on a horse. It's not as mobile, it's not as
Look at your
like
man. Now back to me. Now back at your man. Now back to me. I'm on a horse.
I'm on a horse.
Yeah, actually, I just thought about. I realized I do have another issue. Um, I'm really disappointed that there's only one ending in the game. Like, there's no branching path. It's just the one ending, and
I mean,
it's kind of weird.
you have the different endings, but
No,
they're
no,
all
no,
the same
no, no.
ending
There's only
slightly
one ending
tweaked.
in the game. Because
What
what
do you
other idiot wouldn't choose Ronnie?
Oh, that's what you mean. Ha. Ha ha. 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 I did the chaos ending.
Well, that's because you're a fucking idiot.
Yeah, because I'm a fucking idiot, but I did the chaos ending. I actually really so on the whole who what anyone poke Ronnie, I wanted to do fucking hug me mommy milkers ending. But
Please. She's so fucking easy. Are you kidding me? You gotta
vastly
work. You gotta
superior.
work for Ronnie. She makes you earn
Vastly
it.
superior.
No. Ronnie makes you earn that shit. Fia gives hugs to anybody.
No, Fia gives hugs to champions.
She hugs anybody.
Fia gives hugs to champions. Are you
Ye-
slut shaming right now,
You
Tuner? Are you slut
literally
shaming my mommy milkers?
You literally marry Ronnie.
I mean,
You
kind of.
propose to her and she gives you a sword. It's the whole thing. You marry Ronnie and she makes you earn it. There's no discussion. Ronnie is best girl.
You even kill her stalker afterwards.
Exactly. Ronnie's the best. There's no discussion. This is it is 100% scientific fact. You heard it here from the Mathalos. Ronnie's best girl.
From half the Mathalos. The other Mathalos says that the M in Mathalos stands for mommy milkers, but okay.
I mean, listen, when you get Ronnie, you get two girls for the price of one.
Lol.
And look, she's got four
Wins,
hands.
Basil.
4 hands. You know what that means, fellas. You know what that means. That's right. 2
Yeah,
hugs at
but see,
once.
Yeah, but see, Fia doesn't need 4 hands.
No,
Fia's
no, no.
hugs
Okay,
are worth
okay,
far
okay,
more than
okay,
just
hold
a
on,
mere
hold
2
on.
hugs at once.
Hold up. Okay. In the YouTube comments, if you've somehow made it here, past all of our ramblings,
Team Ronnie or Team Fia?
Team Ronnie or Team Fia? I don't think it's gonna even be close.
Oh no, I know it's not gonna be close, but since when the fuck have I ever been like going along with like the popular opinion?
Dude, Ronnie is like the cultured man's fucking waifu. I mean, everybody's like, oh, Fia gives me hugs. Oh wow. Oh, she give me a hug. Oh, but it's like, dude, let's talk about you gotta earn it from Ronnie. You know, and she says that she loves you. You don't get that from Fia. I mean, she says she loves you in a really roundabout way.
You and Fia make a baby, and then you murder that baby.
Ronnie says that
and infuse
its
rotting corpse into the Elden Ring.
Look. Ronnie says that she loves Blythe and EG. And she says that she holds you to their same level. So even though she didn't say she loves you, she said she loves you. So it's great. What world is it where the ace one is insisting the only real ending is the marriage one? See, that's the difference. Jinx is saying that the good ending is the one where you have a baby with somebody.
I'm the breeder.
Yeah, that's the breeder ending. I'm the one who says that the best ending is the one where you just have a nice little marriage and then you go to the moon.
I also just kind of found Ronnie pretentious, and that's weird to say, being a Souls veteran and everyone kind of like, not even because of how she talks or whatnot, being like, I like the like I'm a Souls fanboy, but like I just found Ronnie kind of pretentious.
Bah. Bah.
But I'm also not into like the Hime archetype, and Ronnie's definitely kind of leaning more to the Hime archetype.
She's soon.
Like the princess sort of thing.
She's soon.
Yeah, she's a soon Hime. I'm not into soon Himes.
Yeah, she's not Hime because she doesn't have a Hime cut.
Fia is traumatized and broken, but trying to work towards her goals nonetheless to fulfill the wishes of her love, and I respect that and want to help her.
Hold on, let me just. There you go. I'm gonna enjoy these pictures of Jinx being a freaking shrimp. No, man.
Stay for posterity.
You just want any girl who'll give you a hug, and us Ronnie enjoyers are like, yeah, we earned that shit.
I don't care that she gave me a hug.
Dude, you can I still love that legitimate streamer moment. I did not look up how to progress Ronnie's story. I legitimately just clicked.
Did it?
I just clicked the fucking button 3 times. I was like, oh, dogged pretentious one are you? What? It's great. It's great. I actually.
Dorothy, Ronnie seems like she marries you because she thinks you are worthy and not because she likes you. Yeah.
Which hold on.
So that's the thing I think with the whole like pretentious thing with Ronnie is that it never really came off to me that she actually likes you. She respects you and thinks you're worthy, but it has the whole like aristocratic relationship sort of vibe to it, which I just didn't enjoy.
Look,
it has the whole I'm a princess and you're a worthy knight, and I don't necessarily care about you or as a person, but I find you worthy and you've done my bidding enough that I am willing to marry you now.
Did you not go to the part where like you're going into the and you find the doll and you're going through and you beat like Blythe's clone?
Yeah.
And she's like, oh, you know, I hold you into the same regards as Blythe and EG, and I love them so much. And never mind. Let's
Yeah,
not
she
talk
loves
about
you
that.
like a servant.
No,
That's not an equal relationship.
no. She's like, oh, never.
She loves
She
you
gets
like she
embarrassed
holds you in
by
the
it.
same regard as her literal servant.
She gets embarrassed by it and changes
That's
the
like
subject.
saying I love you as much as I love my maid.
Okay, look, a man needs a maid.
It just never felt like with Fia, it felt like we were peers. It never feels like you're a peer with Ronnie.
Bah.
And some people are into that. And
Look.
I'm also in, and I also have a professor fetish, but that's also not what I want out of a relationship.
Look. All I want is to be all I want is to be respected and found useful. That's
Yep.
all I want in my life.
Yeah, because you're service oriented. I want to build something together with someone who is a peer of mine, which I do with Fia by helping her have a demon dragon baby that I then subsequently murder.
Oh my god. Look. Do you love me or do you respect me?
Yes.
God damn it.
These things are not mutually exclusive.
Yeah, that's what I'm
It's
saying,
just
dude.
with-
Fia
it's just
treats you
with-
like a child. Fucking Ronnie treats you like you're a human being.
A
Like
servant.
no, she treats you with respect.
She treats you like a servant.
She
Yes,
tre-
she treats you like a servant she respects.
I
She
mean,
treats you like a butler.
would you rather be treated like a child or like you're respected?
Fia stops treating you like a child partway through, though. Initially, she treats you like one because she's a caregiver and because that's her role. And then when you go and find her by the gross ass like wall corpse later, she treats you differently.
Yeah, after you like kill all of her butt buddies.
Yeah.
Those are
And?
all other people that she hugged, by the way. You're not the
Yeah?
only one that she hugged.
Tuner, unlike you, I'm not a slut shamer. I'm okay with my paramour being a slut.
We could probably go
I-
on like a 30-minute conversation
I
about this.
am a poly, agendered, pansexual person who is very okay with their partner being a slut as long as they are responsibly a slut. And Fia is responsibly a slut.
She will
She is
hug
only give-
anybody.
No,
she
she
literally
only
gives
gives
you
hugs-
an STD.
She only hugs champions.
She literally gives you an STD.
That's not
How is this
everyone.
safe? The first thing you do is she gives
Responsible
you.
sluts only sleep with people responsibly who they are attracted to and not just giving it out to everyone. Fia hugs champions. She has standards.
I'm
She
pretty
selects
sure-
the people she hugs.
I'm pretty sure there's dialogue options about like the other people in the round table getting hugs from Fia.
Also champions. They're in the round table.
Okay, but like the dude with the
They're
skull.
literally people who
She gets
exist
hugs from
in
the
this world.
dung
There are a
eater.
select group of people in this world who are important enough to have side quests for.
She gets
Of
a
all
hug from the dung
of all
eater.
the creatures and individuals in the lands between, the round table are special. They're also champions.
Look, all the dung eater's trying to do is just eat some ass.
Dude, yeah. Dung Eater, massive respect, bro. He's my bro.
He's just trying to eat some ass.
Well,
he's just trying to destroy some derriere.
Look, all
He's
he does,
he's just trying to pickle some posterior. you know?
all he does is eat ass and Nintendo 69 all day, and I respect that. I respect Dung Eater's like that. Dung Eater's like that disgusting party bro that you hung out with when you were younger, that you respect and had a fun time with, but you don't really want to keep around.
Is he the fat frat guy who shows up to the party, drops the keg down, does a stand on it, and then fucking throws off his shirt?
He's that guy.
And that's all he does?
Yeah, that's all he does.
Maybe he's like a defensive lineman for the football team, but like he knows how to throw down.
Yeah, exactly. That's Dung Eater.
God damn it, Jinx.
He even smells like a defensive lineman. That's Dung Eater.
Oh fuck,
Nah,
man.
Dung Eater is a bro, all right. And Dung Eater just wants to spread his broiness to the rest of the world.
He just wants to eat ass. Leave him
He just
alone.
wants to share. He just wants to spread ass eating across the lands between. God damn it!
Why are we here? Just to suffer.
Why are we here just to suffer? Dung Eater Bro says you haven't suffered enough.
Oh my god. Do you know you can give him the potion from Sevius and use him as a summon?
Yep.
I didn't know that.
Yep.
Uh,
I think one thing I guess is another negative to me for Elden Ring, other than like the really big quest lines, like the ones that actually give you like the ring things to fuse into the Elden Ring for endings.
mhm.
The other quest lines I did just didn't really feel that impactful, especially compared to like the other less important side quests in previous games.
Mhm.
They just didn't leave much of a memory. Like they didn't really like. I can barely remember some of them.
I liked the dude, the samurai dude's quest. Where he you go and kill Eleonora, and he's like dead in the church, and Eleonora invades you, and
Yeah, I also kind of missed that one. Like I completed it, but I missed a lot of the steps and somehow still completed it, so I didn't really get the full picture of that one.
yeah. And I did think Nepheli's was good. The great Kenneth Height.
I mean, I will say
Plus, especially because you get like
I
a bunch
will
of
say-
ancient dragon smithing stones.
yes, but I will say I didn't really like Nepheli's that much. Like it just felt
Yeah, you're
sudden to me. It felt it felt like there was there was only the major story beats and nothing really in between. I guess.
well, that's what all these feel like to me, anyways. Did you do
Fair.
Millicent's?
Millicent's, yeah. I did Millicent's. I did kind of like Millicent's, but it didn't really have like the one that probably had the biggest impact to me and is probably equivalent to the biggest impacts in other games, like the first two that come to mind would be Artorias's and original Onion Bros. OG Onion Bros questline is fucking heartbreaking when you really actually understand what the fuck happened.
Alexander.
No, original Onion Bro from DS1.
No. Is it Alexander's the one in Elden Ring?
No, Alexander's was. I mean, okay, Alexander's was heartbreaking too, but it's like a level below those. The one that broke my heart the most was Hugh's.
Oh yeah. I mean, he doesn't
Hugh's
really
fucking-
have a quest. I wouldn't call it a quest.
I mean,
but-
I guess the side character story then.
Yeah.
Because Artorias also doesn't have a quest line, but Artorias is fucking broke me when I was younger.
Poor baby.
Especially Sif. Every time I came across one of those sword graveyards, I just went Sif. I'm a wolf boy. But so in like Hughes really crushed me, and I think a big reason for that is just for me personally, stories about dementia like
Because
hit me
I never
emotionally
knew my
different.
father.
Like stories about dementia hit me different. The first time I have cried in years, and this isn't because like I'm like have a toxic hypermasculine like combating tears sort of thing.
You don't
like,
have to
like 'cause I think
justify
tears
it.
make
Just
you weak or
fucking go.
something. Well, I'm just saying like I'm broken, so I don't really have the circuits in my brain to cry a lot of the time. Things that should probably make me cry just make me like sad in different ways. But the first time I cried in years was when Jenny and I were watching Human Resources, and there's a very like heart-wrenching, touching episode about like a mother who has dementia, and then her son who still like a grandmother who has dementia, and her son still continuing to go to visit her several times a week, even though every time she does, she throws like a massive fit and a rage until he gives her like her rose tea that reminds her of her past and everything. And like every time, even though like she can't remember who he is, she can't remember who he is. She's like a bitch and throwing a fit every time he comes in. He's still patient and loving and still loves her all the same and still treats her with all the love and care she deserves, even though he gets nothing out of it in return anymore. And that fucking broke me. Like, holy shit, I was bawling.
Okay, so
Human Resources is a good show on Netflix. It's
so
a spin-off of the fucking what's it called? Big Mouth.
yeah, I will not be watching that because Big Mouth
Yeah.
looks stupid as fuck.
I mean, to be fair, I don't really think either are like. Well, actually, Human Resources you might resonate with you more, but like Big Mouth is about puberty and sexuality, and
I'm
that's
not
like
gonna
not
lie, adult
relevant here.
animation. This is a whole nother fucking tangent. Adult animation doesn't have to be cartoons, but ugly, and I'm really tired of these dumbass fucking companies not realizing that.
Yeah, but also I think it's okay for cartoons to be ugly stylized like that.
It's gross out. Gross out has never been good.
Yeah, but gross out is thematically consistent with this show is the thing.
I don't
Like
know.
the art style is not as gross in like Human Resources, with the exception of the hormone monsters because it's thematically consistent. Like it's about like the Big Mouth is about how difficult and confusing and gross and weird the like going through puberty is. And so the art style feels thematically consistent with that to me.
Right.
Like it's not just like the gross out makes sense because what the show is about.
I don't
I
know.
guess.
I don't know. I've been watching like
Kind of like how I think like Beavis and Butthead's art style is really fucking like just feels and looks stupid, and that's consistent with Beavis and Butthead.
I don't know. I've been watching I watched Inside Job, really good.
I also watched that. It's really fucking good. I have an
I
incredibly
watched
unhealthy attraction to Reagan.
True.
Yep.
True.
Yep.
Same.
Yep.
Anyways, I started picking up Amphibia. I just finished part 2 of that, and all I gotta say is, damn. Hmm. Uh, and then I just started watching Owl House as well because I don't want to finish.
Because gay.
Well, Amphibia is going to be ending next weekend, and I don't want to like
Okay.
be waiting on an episode, so I'm just gonna like binge it as soon as it's done.
Actually been really enjoying watching stuff seasonally, week to week. Like we've been doing that recently with like Attack on Titan. We were doing that, and now with some more anime that I'll bring up in a second. We've been doing that. I've actually really been enjoying watching it seasonally.
Well,
It
here's
kind
the
of
thing.
it's
Here's the reason for that is if like you're watching it with Jenny,
that's fair. Yeah.
and so you have time to like process it with Jenny, talk about it with Jenny, go like, oh, what do you think's gonna happen, and create theories with Jenny. I'm just a lonely dude. I live by myself. Feels bad,
That's
man.
fair.
I'm chronically alone, so I don't have anybody to talk about it with. I just get to watch it. And so watching it all in one sitting is the best way for me because I have no one to talk to it.
No, that's fair. I think the other part I do like about doing it seasonally though is that like at least with Attack on Titan, it felt like being part of an event. Especially because of how big Attack on Titan is and
Mm.
like how
I've
impactful each
never
episode.
seen
Like,
it.
I'm not really on like anime Twitter and stuff that much, so I wasn't like a big part of the community, but it just was interesting feeling like I'm part of this like event happening. But especially with like Attack on Titan because it's very likely gonna go down in like anime history as one of the classics and like one of the like really formative anime of like a lot of like people who are younger around this time sort of thing. But like it's like kind of like the Narutos and Bleaches of our generation sort of thing. But it was just really nice feeling like it was being part of that because like I guess that's something that I haven't really had too much experience with because like I was never into the MCU, so I never was like part of like the event of Endgame and everything like that.
Mm.
And it was just interesting experiencing that with that. And I'm kind of experiencing that again with Spy X Family, which, by the way, if you haven't watched Spy X Family, or anyone in chat, or anyone in YouTube hasn't watched it, if there is anything you take away from this podcast, go fucking watch Spy X Family, because it is so fucking good. It is the best wholesomeness porn I have ever watched, and it cures my depression. Well, it doesn't cure my depression, but it's an incredibly coping skill for bringing me out of my depression.
I haven't seen it.
It's really good. You would love it. I honestly think, but it's literal wholesomeness porn.
Shit.
I feel like you should watch it in tuners with people at some point, because it is like literal wholesomeness porn. It is so, and it's so well done. The manga is really popular in Japan, I've heard.
Oh.
At least through Trash Taste, because that's pretty much my like connection to the anime community, is listening to Trash Taste. But
Look,
like,
listen. The only anime that has mattered for the past 10 years is Odd Taxi.
I still have to watch it,
If
but I am definitely on the list.
if you watch Odd Taxi, I'll watch Spy X Family with you.
Okay.
So we'll watch Odd Taxi together, and we'll watch Spy X Family together. When Spy X Family is done, though.
God damn it!
What?
I want you to watch Spy X Family now.
But I want you to
There's
see
5
it
episodes to
now.
binge right now.
I want you to see it now.
We also need to watch Demon Slayer season 2.
Oh, that is actually true.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. I still don't think Demon Slayer is that good.
Yeah, it's aight.
I mean, it's
It's
well
really,
animated. It's UFO
really
table.
pretty.
It's
Yeah,
UFO
like the
table.
animation is really pretty.
I also
Pretty in kind of a unique way because of all like the hand-drawn special effects sort of thing.
I've heard Dress Up Darling is also kind of big right now. I haven't seen it. I've heard it's like it's the new 02, I guess. It's like everybody
I've
wanted.
heard it's incredibly good too. I'm just not really into romance anime, like at all. And like Spy X Family is really good to me because it's not a romance anime, but it's like a wholesome, really weird setup spy and assassin and telepath girl trying to build a family together and all having their own individual goals and still being wholesome as fuck, and oh my god this robotic man is learning how to love again sort of story.
I only like romance anime when it breaks someone.
Yeah, apparently Spy X Family is a cultural movement right now.
Toradora is great. Go watch Toradora.
I read some of Toradora. I started reading Toradora because it started coming out like right around when I stopped reading manga. So I've read like the first like 20 or 30 chapters of Toradora. It's like I haven't really been into romance manga or anime since I was much younger. Now that I'm like I guess now that now it just like doesn't really appeal to me because I'm like my brain is just like just fucking communicates. Just fucking communicates. Stop being such fucking teenagers and fucking communicate with each other. Like, it's kind of frustrating to me to see like romance stuff because you need the drama, right? You need the tension, like you need that. But like, I'm just like, this is not how I would handle a relationship. Just fucking communicate with each other like fucking adults, for fuck's sake.
Oh shit. No, so you just need to be like, Jinx, wanna fuck?
Yeah, sure. Let's go.
No!
Jinx would hate Surezure children? Yeah, probably. It's just like it's one thing for me to watch like people being stupid in different kinds of shows, but in romance, like with how much I've grown in like relationships and like how important like, you know, open, honest, proper communication, I'm probably on the spectrum somewhere, just fucking like tell me shit sort of thing that I am. Like romance anime just kind of like fucking kills me because so much of the tension is built up around them not being willing to or good at communicating with each other, and it's like genuinely frustrating to me. I think like I guess one of the exceptions, and I like trauma porn and I like tragedy porn, so like what I've seen of Nana with Jenny is different because it's not really about that. It's about like fucking situations being so fucked, and I enjoy that. But like things like Toradora and all that kind of stuff, I'm just not that into because of that. I've heard Dress Up Darling's a bit different because it's like less of that kind of like will they won't they sort of romance and more of them like achieving their goals and being wholesome together thing, so maybe I would like it. But yeah, I think JDX Blade said it's less of a romance and more of a cosplay anime. It goes super in depth with cosplay. Yeah, I've heard about that too.
No, see, like the most recent romance anime kind of thing, or at least an anime with romance in it that really pissed me off is fucking Agretsuko, where it's like Haida
See,
and
yeah,
Retsuko. I was
that's
just like,
why I fucking hate Haida.
just
I
fucking tell
hate
her
Haida.
and then
Yeah,
like
stop being
Inoue.
such a little male hyena, peg me in the ass mommy bitch. Like, for fuck's sake, just tell her how you feel or stop fucking simping.
And fucking Inoue is she tries so hard and she's just like, I like you. I want this to happen.
Well, and then like
and he's
the
just
fact
like,
that the only legitimate reason why he can't be with her is because he's too attached to this fantasy of being with Agretsuko. Like, it's not even a reality. It's not even like anything about their own actual chemistry. It's not like they're like, oh, they're like
he's
actually
anchored.
meant to be. Yeah, no, he's just obsessed with the fantasy of being with her. I hate that.
He's anchored. That's what all it is he's just anchored, and probably one of those love at first sight things is like, okay, well, it's gotta be this.
Yeah, and like that's the thing that really gets me. Like, there's this other show that Jenny and I fucking love called Crazy Ex-Girlfriend, which has like which is it's really interesting. Like, it's like one of the only like musical shows I've really enjoyed because it's all like really well written, well done comedy musical stuff. But like the show is basically about a main character she gets diagnosed later on, but like she basically decides to fucking grind up all her meds, get off therapy, get off her meds and stuff like that, and fucking stop being a hotshot lawyer who feels like she's dead inside, and move to like go chase this guy she used to date at summer camp in fucking like middle school or some shit in her like sexual awakening time. And then like move to fucking California to this small town, 2 hours from the beach, yada yada theme song. And then like her like slow the generation into like becoming more and more and doing more and more fucked up things because she has her unchecked mental illness, to like her bottom points with like this mixture of like really good human comedy and drama and like so many characters you actually give a shit about, and then eventually hitting her rock bottom, and then actually going to therapy and actually getting a proper diagnosis
BoJack.
and actually trying to deal with this stuff. Yeah, BoJack, but way less depressing. Way better, but with like your kind of like glee sort of like campy mood to it, I guess. But like, yeah, very much kind of that BoJack.
So BoJack
like
in La La Land.
Yeah, sure. And then like, and there's also like the romance plots lines happening, and like the reason I brought this up is because like there's 3 main romantic interests for her, right? And 2 of them, like, I'm a big fan of one of them, not only because he's kind of a sarcastic, intelligent cynic like me, but like
it's
also
Jinx's
because like
insert character.
Lol, but because he's the only one she has like that their relationship is predicated on reality and their shared experiences and chemistry. And both of the other ones, especially the one that like Josh Chan, which is the one she moves, to California for, is so based on a fantasy. And even when they start having real stuff and real history and like real experiences, it's still so much based on a fantasy. And I guess I'm just the type where like I'm not a hopeless romantic. I'm not even really much of a romantic at all. and I like relationships that
You
are
say
based
that, but then
in
you
a
make
reality.
delicious food. So
I mean, how does making delicious food make me a romantic?
it's a language of love
Well, yeah,
for a
and I
lot of
and
people.
and I
A
provide
lot of
languages of
people.
love. But when I say I'm not a romantic, it doesn't mean I'm not able to be romantic or do romantic things. It means that I'm not really wired to like desire or like fantasize about those kinds of like those romantic things,
Ah.
right? Like I don't want someone
Look,
to like give
cook
me
me
a
food and
display of
cook me food, and that's all you got to do.
yeah. But
Actually,
like
no,
I like
that's a lie. I have two prerequisites to marry somebody. Is
yeah.
like they'd have to know how to cook, and not because like they have to cook for me. Just like I don't know, cooking is really cool.
Yeah.
But mostly that's a secondary too. They have to be able to play an instrument.
Yeah.
Because
Fair.
if I were to ever marry somebody, I would never want to have a first dance. I'd want to have a first duet.
Aw, a first jam.
No, first duet.
Okay. But yeah. Yeah.
So sorry,
Like
Jinx, I
the
can't marry
no,
you
it's okay.
because you're a fucking talentless fuck.
I mean, I am. I don't have a musical fucking bone in my body. I can dance. That's about it.
He can
But,
dance if he wants to. He can leave your friends behind.
but if they don't dance, wait, no, I don't know. I don't remember the
And
line.
your friends don't dance, and if they don't dance, well, they're no friends of mine.
But yeah, I actually recently, not really a coworker, but someone who worked at the sister restaurants of my restaurant, who hang out a lot and was my favorite person from there, recently moved on to an office job, and on her last day, I offered her if she wanted it, like a lap dance, but she said she didn't want it, but she wanted to see it, so we found someone else, and I gave them a lap dance.
Okay, sure.
Jenny has said that the first time, before we actually really knew each other, we were more acquaintances at the same parties. The first time she ever thought, man, that guy is hot, was when she saw me giving a lap dance to our mutual friend Jamalin.
I don't know how to dance.
I
straight up, I don't know how to dance.
Yep.
I
I
can't.
am.
I'm the dude from Hitch. I do like a little bounce. That's it.
You're the bouncer. Are you a jetpacker?
I'm a bouncer. That's it.
So you're not even a jetpacker. You even raise your arms up to like the 90 degrees jetpack.
Nope.
Then
I'm like a
you just
bouncer.
bounce. You have like the water in your hand and you're bouncing kind of thing.
Yep. I'll have
Yep.
like the water in my hand, or I'll have like my finger or my hands in my like my hoodie pockets, and I'll bounce.
Yeah. I always thought like if I ever get more into streaming, I should have like a donation goal to like dance to something. But then I'm like, but then I have to dance to a song, and then that means that I'm gonna get fucking demonetized. So like it'd have to be really expensive. Blah blah blah.
This is me. This is how I dance. Yep. There's a little bounce, a little sway.
Yeah.
Little bounce.
So you're like that. You're like that typical like rhythm. You're like that DDR kid who can't actually dance. Like you're the rhythm gamer who doesn't dance.
Probably. Although I've been told that when I'm in the trucks loading the semis, I dance.
I mean, yeah, but that's because do they mean that as in like you're actually dancing, or like your movements seem like you're dancing because you're so efficient and flowy with
both?
It? Yeah, okay.
Because
Gotcha.
like I move in with the rhythm.
Yeah, I sometimes accidentally do spin moves at work.
Yeah.
And my GM was sometimes like, nice spin move. But like I'll just like turn a corner, and because of the angling, I'll just do like a quick 400-degree plus like super fast spin to get around the corner. I'm like, oh, I didn't mean to do that.
Well.
Man, we have not gone through a lot of our topic.
We went through pretty much everything that was the big stuff.
We pretty much went through like Elden Ring and the life stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, well, the future stuff is more just like,
Yeah.
You know, podcasts.
Yeah,
Do
more
you guys
podcasts in
want
the
more
future.
podcasts?
Yeah, let us know in the comments if you want more podcasts. Share it with your friends if you want more podcasts. Like the video if you want more podcasts.
Smash that like
Subscribe
button.
and hit the notification bell if you want more podcasts.
My favorite
Send
one.
this to your mother as a Mother's Day gift if you want more podcasts.
My favorite one is still like, bro, you taking that like button on 4 fucking dates. So, bro, why ain't you smashing that
Smashing
like
it.
button? It's so dumb. It's so dumb.
Oh, that's funny.
Oh fuck.
Oh, that's
God,
fucking great.
people are so weird. But you know, Sunbreak's coming out soon.
Yeah.
Can't guarantee that there'll be a lot of content for it. Obviously, Jinx and I are both working again, so
Yeah. I mean, I'll try to be making time to like play it and whatnot. It's probably be an Elden Ring thing again, where I'm devoting all of my screen time to playing through the content in Sunbreak. But
right. Who knows? Maybe if there's some random shit that's just like, wow, this is really unique. Maybe we'll do a side thing, or maybe we could do some hunt.
just sad that I won't
highlights.
have my Steam Deck by then, since it would be nice to just be able to play Monster Hunter in bed. But
Ooh, somebody got a Steam Deck.
well, I got a reservation for the top end one that will probably get cashed out. They said they don't expect it till Q3, so
Yeah.
October or later. But
Um,
I just realized I really would like a Steam Deck because like it would be nice if Jenny and I could play games in the same room together because we're the type of couple that just like enjoy like
existing in the same space.
existing in the same space, doing our own little things, but it's hard to do that because my computer's set up and hers are in completely opposite rooms.
Yeah.
And I have a Switch, but I've like gone through literally the entire online Switch library looking at games. I haven't really found any I want to play.
Rune Factory might be fun for you, but
Eh.
it's Stardew Valley, but with a more bigger emphasis on combat.
Yeah, that's what Sunhaven that I'm playing right now is kind of like that. And more quests and stuff to actually keep me engaged. The problem I run into with Stardew Valley is once I hit like my optimized point, right? Where I've like got everything like optimized to the point I want to like maximize returns, I get bored. I don't have anything else to do now.
Right.
Like I ain't got shit to do anymore. Like I've done the thing. Like I've made the systems, I've min-maxed them, and I'm done. And now I'm just I get bored. So like it's why I generally end up like I don't think I've ever played a Stardew Valley playthrough to year 3 because by year 2 I've optimized my systems. I'm just like, okay, I don't want to play anymore.
Right.
And then fun thing about Sunhaven so far is like there's actually quests and stuff to do, and there's like a main storyline and eventually a final boss and stuff. So like I'm actually like getting to do stuff.
Yeah. Yeah,
Not
the
just
only thing I was
min-maxing my
able to do
farm
with Stardew
income.
Valley was like as fast as you possibly can marry someone kind of runs.
Yeah.
We did that. That was kind of fun.
Those are fun. Yeah, those are fun. Just min-maxing.
Yeah.
Little challenge runs like that.
Other games, I'm trying to get it on sale, but talking about playing No Man's Sky with Jinx
Yeah, I already own it. So.
and doing like
I
the
think your
podcast
experience,
in
yeah,
No
in No Man's
Man's
Sky,
just
you
like
just be
running around. Yeah.
running around, farming up mats, storing them, selling them off, all that kind of stuff. I feel like so one issue I run into with No Man's Sky because I played it quite a bit when the game came out, and was not that great.
Yeah, obviously.
And then I picked it back up like fucking like 6, 7, 8 big content patches later, and like the new like amount of quests and stuff you have to like explain all the new stuff and all, it's so incredibly overwhelming that I just dropped it again. But I feel like you might have a better time with it because you might have a better time with it because if you're doing it on stream, you're gonna be able to get more direction just because stream chat is there, or because you're trying to like do a certain thing for like the stream and the content and whatnot.
Right.
But I think a big issue I have with like new playthroughs in No Man's Sky and just in general with because they've added so much new shit since the game came out.
Right.
Like so much new shit. Like so many new major updates with so much shit going on. And then in the original game was a lot simpler that it's just like overwhelming all the shit you can choose to do.
Mm.
and overwhelming all the amount of systems that exist. Like it's not even like, like the whole like Skyrim or Fallout thing of like pick a direction and go. Like, but you still have like these set systems to work with. It's just like there's so much shit that it's like overwhelming to get into for me.
Hmm. Fair. Fair. But I don't know, it might be something fun to do together.
Oh yeah, no, I mean I'm just not saying that I wouldn't enjoy doing it with you. I'm just explaining why I haven't really touched No Man's Sky that much since it came out.
Another game people have talked about us doing is It Takes Two, which is
I would be down to do a playthrough of that.
Yeah, I mean we'd have to do it over a couple of weeks or something.
Even though I've heard the story's kind of shit, but it'll be fun to play.
I've heard the story is the best part. What?
I've heard that the story is good in terms of storytelling. It's shit in terms of moral.
Oh well, that.
Yeah, more so that. The whole idea of like teaching people that if your parents are getting divorced, it just meant you didn't try hard enough as the child.
Oh, I mean, it's true. If a parents get divorced, it's the child's fault. Every child who's ever gone through a divorce knows this.
Both of us as children of divorce can say that confirmably it is 100% a fact that it was our fault.
Yes, every child who's ever been through a divorce knows that it is 100% their fault. This is an accurate statement, and surely not
100%.
something that I'm being sarcastic about.
Not at all. We are very much straight talking right now.
Yeah. Other than that, as far as content for the channel, I've thought about doing like clips for the channel. Basically, people could upload clips that they've taken of the channel to a channel in the Discord, and then we'll pull those together and put them in as a weekly compilation. And I was even thinking about something like, if your clip gets into a compilation, you get an entry into a giveaway. You can get more than one entry if you get more than one clip. And then at the end of each month, maybe you do like a $25 gift card or some shit to Amazon or MiHoYo or Riot Points or World of Warcraft Gold. I don't know, whatever the fuck you want. But something like that. But I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know. I think clip compilations would be good to have as content in general. Because more content, but also because more people getting exposed to your stream. Because clearly you have like a very solid like fan base of peeps in the stream viewers.
I'd say
who are like
30, 40 people.
30 and 40 is really solid though, all things considered.
Yeah.
Who will pretty much follow you through whatever, and like they like what you're doing, but
dude,
just feel like you don't. I feel like you just don't really have a lot of like inbound people coming in to like check out the streams.
The worst part is
that's kind of how Twitch as a platform is built. Like if you're smaller, you're just not gonna get a lot of inbound people, and it's like a time and screen monopolizing platform because you're only watching one streamer at a time. So like,
yeah,
it's hard to get that inbound going in.
Well, it's been really weird because I started doing Gundams recently and like Maker stuff, and wow, I mean the pre-existing Maker community was really just taken to me. A bunch of these other guys are just like, yo, check out this dude and whatever. I've met a lot of really cool people. Some guy's gonna 3D print me a Star Wars helmet with bunny ears on it. It's really cool. His guy's name's Loyal Moses. He's pretty cool.
Nice.
And there's another one in there, Jang, who's been pretty cool.
Man, it's almost like people like you because you're likable and do cool things on your stream.
It's almost like your
cool
mom.
To hang out with.
Got him.
I mean, it is Mother's Day, so yes, my mother. Yeah. She is a focus of this day. For the next 2.5 hours.
Yeah.
I mean, that might be part of the advantage of being in a smaller, niche community like the Makers community, though, because like when you're just another gaming streamer, you get drowned out, Yeah.
The most important part will be like if we get money from YouTube, you've already agreed to this. This is an agreement, and you're gonna do it, and this is gonna happen, or else. But no, Okay.
Lol.
That you're gonna use your half of the YouTube money since it's always inconsistent, whatever, and then like you can use it to come visit me. And I'll
Gotta save up. I mean, the biggest issue right now, on part of like the whole like me doing the industry shift to data analytics work, is that one of the big issues with the restaurant industry is we don't get PTO or sick leave,
Mhm.
and if you're in like a corporate restaurant that does, you're not getting full compensation for either.
Mm.
Like, because you're getting your compensation is coming from tips, right? So even if you're making 25, 30, 35, 40, whatever an hour, normally, like in terms of actual income, in terms of actual like pre-tax income because of tips, like corporate places I've been at will give you like maybe 10, probably minimum, which is 7.25 an hour compensation for PTO. So like the bigger issue with like traveling is like not even the cost of traveling. I have fucking 73,000 sky miles right now. I have $730 worth of like air ticket credits to cash in, on top of like all the extra benefits that my Sky Miles Amex gives me for saving money on that shit. Like the cost of flying is not really a problem. Right? I probably wouldn't spend too much while I'm over there either. The big issue is the loss of income of like going on a vacation. Because it's just like if I take a week off, I'm just straight up losing like post tax, post insurance. I'm losing like $700+. So like that's more so the issue with it, money wise. It's just the lack of PTO.
Mm-hmm.
Which is one of the big reasons why I want to do a career transition, because I'm tired of not having PTO or sick leave. I'm not really worried about like my concern more with like getting COVID is not even like the health risk, because statistically speaking, I'm gonna be fine if I get COVID. Like I won't really I have a very low risk of long-term or even really bad long-term complications or bad short-term complications. It's more so if I'm out of work for 2 weeks, I'm out $1,500.
True. True.
And $1,500 is a good chunk of my yearly savings. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, we'll be saving that money for the go eat canes for the first time with
Yeah.
Tuner funds.
Yeah, I just want you to get like Canes.
I almost ate canes for the first time when we were in Chicago,
Don't do it.
but then we didn't because we were only there for like fucking 2 nights, so we wanted to go to like actual restaurants in Chicago.
Yeah, no. And then I want you to try Honest Abe's, which is like Bob's Burgers but real.
Oh, cool. All right.
Yeah, they got all sorts of really weird, funny names.
Yeah, I would very much change the places I would take you to in Atlanta if you came down again.
Oh yeah. I mean, I'd still go to Cookout.
Yeah, fuck it. Cookout's bomb, dude.
It's like fucking McDonald's food prices and speed, but like restaurant quality. It's ridiculous.
Well, I feel like restaurant qualities may be a bit excessive, but it's like the name. It's like you got something from a backyard cookout.
Yeah.
Like their burgers are char-broiled. It's not like a super great like restaurant fancy. It's not like a $12, $15 burger sort of thing. But like it doesn't taste like a McDonald's cheap burger. It tastes like a burger you got out of someone's backyard cookout.
Yeah.
Like it's got that char-broiled chariness. It's like not super nice meat, but it's not like McDonald's. Is this even meat? Like it just tastes like a burger.
Yes, it's very good. It's very good.
Plus, you can get chicken nuggets as your side with a burger. You
Yeah.
want some nuggies instead of fries.
Wait, is there a Cookout?
Cookout's pretty widespread, but I don't know if I think it's mostly widespread in the southeast.
Yeah.
Like it's in several states, but I don't know if it's like I don't know if like it's anywhere, if there's one anywhere near you, but
Yeah, I don't know. I'll have to look it up. But okay, well that's about 2 hours. So
yup.
let's keep it under 2 hours for the folks at home
Yup.
on the YouTubes. Don't want them to see it and be like, "Oh my god, a 4-hour video."
Lol. Matt, I feel like we really got into like the role of bantering like 30, 40 minutes into the podcast. I felt like the beginning felt a little awkward.
I mean, we started talking about waifus.
True. True.
And
I feel like
remember,
we should just. I
if
feel like we should just like clip that and also put it out. Just
yeah,
us bitching about who's the better wife.
sure, if you want. Just
I feel like
remember,
that would just be a
if you're
good
watching the video
standalone
and
clip.
it's and you can vote in the comments, which one, Team Ronnie or Team Fia?
I know you're gonna win, but I'm still right.
No, you're not right.
Just because the popular opinion says
Sometimes the popular opinion is the right opinion, Jinx.
Nah. When it comes to taste, I'd rather have refined taste than basic taste.
Sometimes the refined taste is the popular taste, Jinx.
Although that being said, Jenny did call my tastes basic literally earlier today.
Ask Jenny who she prefers. That'll be interesting.
I don't think she knows anything about them, but she's probably gonna pick Fia because she's goth.
But like Ronnie's also like a goth in like a different way.
Yeah, she's a Lolita goth though.
Yeah,
Neither of us
exactly.
are really into Lolita goth.
Yeah, whatever.
Well, actually, no. Jenny likes Lolita goth aesthetically. I just don't know if it's like a attractive thing.
Yeah, whatever.
She does like the aesthetic of Lolita goth a lot though.
Whatever. All right. Thank you guys for watching. Appreciate you guys. If you stuck through the whole thing, you're amazing. And everybody who was hanging out during the stream and chatting, commenting, thank you very much.
Yes.
Appreciate you guys as well. Double ta-da over here, double sparkles.
Yes.
So we will catch you guys later. Hope you have a good one. See ya.
Yes.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Oh god, we have to learn how to sync it up again. 3, 2, 1. Bye.